All right, what's up, guys? We're back with Pedal to the Metal, the System Wars podcast, and we're very happy today to have a couple guests on and talk about some very exciting news in the world of video games. Before we get to all that super fun stuff, I'm about to introduce to you the man, the myth, the hashtag legendary Heil68. What's going on, Heil?
Not much. Looking forward to tonight's show, covering some recent releases and some future games, so it should be a good show.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. So, is Animal here today, or is he under the knife still?
No, I've made it back after various doctor visits. I am healing appropriately. No, I feel great. A couple weeks ago, I apologized for any behavior that was off on my part on the podcast because I was on drugs.
I like how he's
My-
I like how he's apologizing now. A year into Pedal to the Metal, Animal finally starts apologizing.
Well, all 60 podcasts, I was just on drugs. Kids say no to drugs.
Yeah, junkie.
Oh.
Anyway, so Heil, who do we have on today with us?
We got a returning guest from our Microsoft State of the Union. Got KW2. What's up?
What's going on, guys? Excited to be back. Thanks for having me.
I love this guy in person, but I hate him on system.
He's done his job.
Yeah, how do you like knowing, KW, that your Microsoft cast has been the biggest Pedal to the Metal cast of 2014 thus far?
Well, as the head of League of Lemmings, I am excited to represent again and to see that we are we're well represented. I mean, it's shocking because we're a small group on SW, and we're probably the most abused group.
It looks like the Lemmings Club has done some artwork in the background there. So
There, yeah, some of the
did Sean do some of those? And for all his viewers out there, it looks like apparently his children has done some wonderful art that he has proudly displayed in the background. So.
KW, can I ask you a quick question? You
Yes.
say you don't take System Wars seriously, but you call yourself part of a league. That's like saying I don't bowl, but I go to bowling night every Friday.
yeah, but it's again League of Lemmings. It's just
You see, skirting around the
LOL,
question again.
the LOL Animal, recognized.
Oh boy.
it's just
So,
it's all
yes.
fun. That's for sure.
yeah, so Hiroka, who else do we have? We have a new guest tonight.
Well, no, because it's actually his returning show. If you remember correctly, I know we took last week off, but the week before we had this guy on, and he stayed up very late for us and did so
Oh, that's right.
today. Coming to you from Norway, ladies and gentlemen, The Last Ride. What's up, Last Ride?
Hey man,
Yeah. How are things?
Actually,
out
look,
in
we're like
Norway?
rock stars on tour now. We can't even remember who we have as guests.
How are things out in sunny Norway?
actually it's pretty good.
Yep, not too bad. Excellent. So, so we got a big show tonight for you guys. Let's get right into it, and I'm going to introduce here, and maybe we can start talking about it. But we're going to talk about the elephant in the room to start today, and that would be what everybody in the gaming industry is buzzing about right now, and that is the recent acquisition on Tuesday that Facebook has announced that they have acquired. Which I believe that the full being acquired will take place in Q2 of next year, I think is when it'll be signed, locked, and loaded. But basically, for all intents and purposes, they have taken over Oculus Rift. So this touches on a lot of fronts. This is a very heated thing going on here with gamers and people being polarized over the whole Kickstarter method and whether or not this actually broke the whole idea of Kickstarter or if it's a benefit. I mean, there's so much to get started with. I want to start today with Animal Mother, and I want to know, Animal, you and I have talked a little bit about this. What do you think, man? I mean, this is big news.
You know, it's it's a double-edged sword, and there's so much ground to cover. I don't know too much about the Oculus Rift. What I do know is they asked for 250,000 on Kickstarter in order to make a prototype, and they made 10 times the amount. They made, what was it, 250, where's my Kickstarter? 250 million, no, I'm sorry,
2.5.
2.5 million on Kickstarter. So 10 times the amount that they were looking for. Eureka, I can say it one way. There is a lot to talk about
Hmm.
the Oculus Rift. Um, it was Patrick Klepek from Giant Bomb wrote a great article about Facebook, Oculus, and trust,
Mhm.
and he makes some very good points. Uh, it's tough because Facebook is one of those companies like EA or Activision that people love to hate. Um, and it's very polarizing that this tech company would sell to a social media company. Um, I, how do I start? Let's start with Kickstarter first off. A lot of the backers are unhappy, right?
Yeah,
Um,
and right, maybe rightfully so. I mean, there's
I don't. You have to look at it this way. This 19-year-old kid created the Oculus Rift. He was a hacker. Lucky or Lusky Palmer. I don't know how to pronounce his fucking name. Um, but a 19-year-old hacker created this phenomenal idea that generated 10 times the amount he was asking for a prototype, and the gaming community jumped on it, and they made Oculus very successful. Um, the thing is, as a small tech company, at some point, you either keep going on to make the best product you can, and you have to sell or be acquired by a company in order to gain capital in order to keep doing the thing you're doing, or you take a huge gamble on a product and use a lot of money, um, investor money, hoping that you can make that return, and that the Rift didn't flop on its face.
and
Uh,
it hasn't even. I mean, let's face. I mean, Oculus hasn't sold one single. I mean, what they've given some out,
well,
correct?
they sell development kits, so
Right.
like I think uh, Sean, you can correct me if you hear this and I'm wrong, but I'm assuming that Sean McLaughlin on GameSpot has a DK kit, the development kit.
But it's still not a retail thing. So
No.
what Facebook in essence did was buy something that had no real customer base as of yet. But let me move over to KW. I mean, KW Animal brought up the Kickstarter piece.
Yeah.
Do you think that if you were a Kickstarter guy who put $50-$100 into this idea and saw this company really gear this new technology towards gamers and for all intents and purposes show off that it's kind of legit. I mean, I've seen the videos that Sean has made. I've seen the videos that some other people have made. And this is some real
We've tested it
interesting.
out.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
right.
a legit
It,
product.
it, it is. And do you, if you were a Kickstarter supporter, are you pissed right now, KW?
Well, first off, I did not back this. I have backed numerous other projects, including the Ouya on Kickstarter. I love
Oh,
Kickstarter. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I backed I backed Ouya. I want to see great games get made. I'm a gamer. Remember that first at heart. So I want to see great games get made. I want to see small companies thrive and turn into big companies. And what I don't want to see is these small companies come on Kickstarter and hope to be bought out by
Hmm.
super mega corporations. That's not why I'm backing you on Kickstarter. So I understand the backlash from some of the givers, some of the donors. This is very much in line. I don't know if you knew about Ouya, but what they just recently went back on is the whole free the games promise of, hey, we're going to have free demos for every game that's on our marketplace. And they've gone back on that and acquiesced to these larger developers that said, we don't want to put out a demo because we feel like it hurts our sales. And yeah, of course it's going to hurt your sales if you put out junk. So I look at this as the same way. Oculus Rift and Lucky have gone back and basically said, hey, we're going to sell out to this large Uber corporation that has no intention really of fulfilling the vision that we ultimately sold everybody on of having great games in a 3D realm, a 3D environment. They've basically said, hey, we're going to go to Facebook who maybe Facebook has said, hey, you know what, we're going to continue on with gaming, But man, at what kind of gaming? And Facebook's, that's really not their niche. That's really not what they do. So I don't know where they're going with this, but I understand the backlash because everything that was sold to how they got this $2 million
Mm.
is what they're going is definitely not, doesn't seem like they're going to be coming into fruition.
Yeah. So, Animal, what do you think?
You know, I've never funded a project in Kickstarter. Somebody's being murdered.
It's just Hyle's house. Don't worry about it.
You know, KW, I have some friends that have become wildly successful on Kickstarters. You know, I know the guys who did the MMPR film, the fan film, and you know, they originally wanted 10. I think they made some ridiculous amount of money, and some other projects that made a significant amount of money in order to make the project come to fruition. Those being films more so than anything. My question to you is, Kickstarter isn't you're not investing in. It's hard to say. Backer is a problematic word. Backer sounds like you're investing in the company rather than donator.
Mm-hmm.
I can't hear you, KW.
You're not a backer. You're not even investing. You're buying a product. You're buying a single product on Kickstarter.
But
I agree with that.
They call them backers. That's the problematic word.
Yes.
You're not buying stock in the company. You're not buying any stake in the company or whatnot. So I think the problem is in some of the language. I think it's unfair for. I kind of land on both sides of the fence.
Mm.
Is it unfair that Oculus sold out to Facebook for $2 billion?
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah.
But on the other side, they have to get their product out and they need capital. And maybe they couldn't do that without the help of Facebook.
Well, it is. Go ahead and finish up your point, Animal. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay. And the thing is, you have to go into Kickstarter knowing that you're a backer. You're not an investor.
Mm.
You know, you're not investing money to make money back.
Right.
I think KW might be able to clear this up for me, but they clearly put it that you're not making any money back, and that's what the rewards are for.
Right. And I think to simplify maybe what you're saying, Animal, is that, you know, I think that the angst of what, you know, supporters or donators or whatever are probably the most jaded about, and I can't say that because I'm not a donator to or a backer of Oculus Rift, but that, you know, they were donating based not just on a goggle set that went over your eyes and tracked the movement of your, you know, whatever you were viewing, but the idea that it was applied to gaming. I think that that's where people have a legit stake in feeling that the Oculus team ultimately in the end was disingenuous with the initial promise that they had presented and fronted all up until Monday morning. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Tuesday was the announcement. I mean, up until Tuesday morning, we all were like, okay, Oculus Rift is going to come out and it's going to change the way we game. And we're seeing now Sony, which I want to get to Hyle's take on the Sony Project Morpheus. But like, you know, and I'm sure MS is probably going to be working on something too, or they've been rumored to be working on something for VR. But, you know, like that's where I think the anger comes in from a lot of people. And, you know, the selling out, if you will. But Last Ride, let me ask you this. You create something amazing, and it's going to be for a hobby that you really, really love and really want to see thrive. But then I wave a check with a 2 and 9 zeros attached to it in front of your face. And I say, forget about what you want. I'm going to give you $2 billion to give me what you created. True or false, you're taking that check 11 out of 10 times. Hyle, what do you think, man? I wave you $2 billion in front of your face.
Oh yeah, nobody brought that up really. I mean, that's a lot of dough.
I mean, is there? I mean, Hyle, let's face it, man. Is there anything that you love enough in this world other than family and, you know, your kids and all that stuff? But I mean, you know, is there anything in this world that you love enough, material-wise, even something that you created, that you're not going to hand over to somebody else for? And if I sound like a sellout, I apologize, but this is an ungodly amount of money to throw at a young man who created something pretty crazy.
Well, I mean, they're in business, right? So they want to advance their product, and $2 billion, that goes a long ways.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, personally, I don't care about the product. I don't know. The way they're saying is it's not going to affect games, but I don't see how it cannot. I mean, hopefully, I don't know. I mean, the Minecraft Notch bowed out.
You're
I
gonna
don't think.
see.
Go
You're
ahead.
gonna
Kate.
you're gonna see more companies bow out. It's only a matter of time. I mean,
Sure.
and we can bash the guy from Minecraft and say, you know, hey, he's kind of out there, out on a limb, blah blah blah. But he's for the guy that created Minecraft is for the little guy, for sure. I mean, he went out there and created something that was completely kind of different and not necessarily he didn't know it was going to go to the level that it was going to go, but it did. And I don't see him being the type of guy that's like, hey, I want to support Facebook or I want to support EA,
Yeah.
even though he's kind of sold his soul a little bit too with Minecraft. But still, I mean, there's going to be a lot of backlash from this. I mean, you're talking about 9,000 people raised $2 million. It was 9,000 plus subscribers raising $2 million on Kickstarter, and that's significant, man. I mean, that's a lot of money. And not only that, they didn't get $2 billion from Facebook. They got $500 million in cash, and the rest is in shares from Facebook. So that can go up or down based on the success of Facebook and based on the success of Oculus Rift and whatever else Facebook does. So,
Yeah.
could they have raised $500 million on their own in cash? I believe so. They raised $2 million without having really any kind of following, without really having any kind of notoriety prior to going on Kickstarter. And he's not, and Lucky isn't getting all of that money himself. Let's
Yeah.
not forget, Carmack is in there, and it's over another couple other large investors that I believe put in an additional $80+ million after the Kickstarter went viral and got their $2 million. So who knows where this is all going. I think this had less to do with Lucky, the original creator of Oculus, and more having to do with the people that came on board after Kickstarter was funded.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanna step in and say something now that we're talking about you know, the people involved, Carmack, Notch. You know, Notch threw a statement out saying Facebook was creepy. I mean, he seems a little eccentric, but I mean, he's very smart. He built something out of nothing.
I actually like the article that I read about him, you know, coming out and saying the whole creepy thing about Facebook. I mean, he does go into a little bit more depth in his statement and say that, you know, his desire as a developer is to work with gamer-centric companies. And while I believe he says something, and I'm paraphrasing, but something about, you know, Facebook is a social company and their motives are never perfectly clear. They're a company, you know, they're a company that can change what they do or make acquisitions or make moves that don't necessarily have clear motives. And to that respect, I almost look at those comments that he said, and I haven't really been on the boards lately. I've had a busy couple weeks, but you know, as far as the way I internalized that statement from him was that that's exactly what I want my game developers to say. I want them to say that I'm in this to make the hobby of gaming go forward, not something else. So in that respect, I kind of liked what he said. But are people backlashing this?
Yeah, and that's one of the big things I want to talk about is Cliff Bleszinski of Epic Games. Well, now not of Epic Games, but you get my point. He wrote a great article called Rift Book. Technology sometimes needs big companies in order to flourish.
Yeah.
The thing is now that Lucky is promising, and that these people are, Oculus is, at least I see saying a lot of, is this is so we can get the cost down, so we can get production lines, so we can do this and that. Then the Oculus Rift shouldn't be more than $250 if they were acquired for $2 billion in order to get production costs down. The other problem is Lucky Palmer's out on Reddit. He's skirting around the issue saying whether he's been acquired or they've partnered with Facebook. And that's the other thing. Does Facebook own Oculus, or are they just partnered with Oculus? That's something that hasn't come out of the woodwork yet. And that's a big problem. Now, the other problem is Lucky Palmer is out on Reddit again saying, oh, nothing's going to change. This is all for the games, blah, blah, blah. And it's been an absolute shitstorm of comments of people.
Right.
But when you have the owner and creator of Oculus saying, no, this is the best possible outcome for the future of virtual reality and not my wallet. And I won't change the Oculus. I won't change, and any change at Oculus will be for the better. We even have more freedom than we had under our investment partners because Facebook is making a long-term play on success of VR, not short-term returns.
Right.
That stuff Lucky Palmer is saying. And it seems like he's still trying to be on the gamer side.
Yeah.
But then you have Mark Zuckerberg come out during the acquisition saying, oh, we want to create virtual worlds where people can interact with one another and shop and this and that and whatnot. Those are two completely different ends of the...
Just like Sony Home.
Yeah, but those are two completely different ends of the spectrum. Saying you want to set up programs and platforms so people can go shopping and interact with each other is completely different than gaming-centric focus for the Oculus.
Right. See, and I'm not even thinking like the whole shopping piece. I mean, I'm thinking, that just the idea of like putting on your goggles and say paying $5 to have a virtual tour of like the Colosseum in Rome, or to have a virtual London to walk around in, or to experience something for very, very cheap that might feel very, very real in the comfort of your own couch, 3,000-4,000 miles away. So
well, that's the thing, applications, and that's something as a psychologist that VR is used for. It's used for post-traumatic stress disorder and anxiety and so many other things. I mean, the Oculus could be great for society in one of two ways, but using it to socialize, we're just entering the world of WALL-E. And the other thing is that Cliff Bleszinski added a great photo to his thing called Riftbook, his blog post called Riftbook. It says, it's a photo of Julian Assange and Mark Zuckerberg. The photo of Julian Assange says, I exposed the truths about corporations and I got branded an enemy. And the picture of Zuckerberg says, I sell your information to companies for a profit and I got voted man of the year. And it's such a true fact. Like, there's so much evil in this world, and a man exposes it, and he's deemed the devil, whereas somebody who's selling my phone number, my address, and all my information, my height, my weight, what I look like, to corporations for a profit, got voted man for the year.
Yeah.
By Time. I mean...
But that just goes to show who's in bed with who. I mean...
It's very true.
Assange is outcasted from the U.S. and Zuckerberg's invited to the White House. And talk with Obama about how much more we can spy on the general public and how much more information we can give, and that's my problem with this social media companies. And I said this on SW, and as one of the probably the few times I got serious is that people need to understand you're the product when you're talking about these social media companies. They don't have a product. The product is you, the product is your friends, the product is what you say, what pictures you put up, what moments, what memories, what things you talk about. Without you, the product, the person, these social media companies cease to exist. And I have a hard problem with, from an investment standpoint, from a business standpoint of how are these companies going to survive if all they're doing is just marketing to me based on what my likes and dislikes are in a private setting, not necessarily private, but a public setting, talking to my friends and talking to my family about who I am, where I live, where I go to school, where I vacation, and all these things. Basically, I'm opening up to these companies and saying, hey, come target me, and I'm going to give you all of the ammunition you need. But the last time I bought something off of a social media company from an advertisement standpoint was never. And my wife's on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, things like that, and I'm on LinkedIn as well. But I don't go there to shop. That's not where I go to buy things. And I guess there are people that do that. But once this, and that's why I think this Oculus Rift thing is such a terrible idea. Is basically now you're saying, hey, I'm going to show you everything and give you all the information a visual standpoint that helps you buy more things. Like,
Yeah.
where is it going? And kind of going back to some of the backlash on this. I mean, you can go to the comments section of the Kickstarter, and for example, quote, "Two companies died with this announcement: Oculus Rift and Kickstarter. The rise and fall of Kickstarter." This is a backer that put in a couple $100. Another one, douchebag Oculus, raises 2.5 million on Kickstarter, immediately sells out for 2 billion to Facebook. I want to retract all positive statements I've ever made about this project, unquote. So,
Yeah.
man, this is the question is, if they decide, if Oculus does decide, or the owners of Oculus or the founders or whoever, if they decided to launch another project or a quick Kickstarter, or even out in the general public at all,
Yeah.
are they going to get any kind of people that attracted to this based
Trust
on
has
what
been
they?
lost.
Yeah, their goodwill is burnt. So
If they have $2 billion in their pocket
Yeah,
and they're asking for a handout again, they're gonna get a whole lot of fuck you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Shit. So I mean, Hyle, what do you think about it all?
Yeah, I think it's going to be some. It should be interesting. I think the Hermits have been pretty silent about it because this was like, the next thing in gaming. Now all of a sudden, like us on Facebook. So,
Yeah.
so it could be quite interesting. I think some of the games. Well, reading what they're saying, the game development is going to be separate, but I don't see how it could just be totally void of Facebook elements in there because, Zuckerberg didn't become $25 billion he's worth, something like that.
Yeah. Something
By
ridiculous.
just going, okay. So I don't know.
Yeah. So last ride, letting you jump in here. I think we got your mic fixed. Let me ask you this question: did Sony swoop in at the exact perfect moment in another string of amazing fortune for Sony of late to to announce Project Morpheus, in essence, in the same 7-day period that Oculus Rift goes from being the crowning jewel of the future of gaming to being the basin of the toilet? Did Sony come in with Project Morpheus and steal all the thunder?
I mean, it was kind of coincidental, don't you think, with timing of the release of the Project Morpheus? But I think it was a perfect timing. I think they get a lot more goodwill than Oculus is getting now, at least.
Yeah. So I mean, Hyle, what do you think? I mean, you're the big Sony guy. I mean, are you going to get Project Morpheus? If Project Morpheus and Oculus Rift come out on the same day for the same price, which one are you getting? That's a stupid question, isn't it, Hyle?
I don't know. I don't like wearing the Rift headset at Comic-Con. I just can't see wearing any type of headset like that for
They smelled.
yeah, for any particular forward. But there was a quote, from Yoshida. Is that how you pronounce it?
Sure.
It says, "We view innovation as an opportunity to build our mission to push the boundaries of play." Oh yeah, pushing the boundaries of innovation. That's what Sony's all about. Project Morpheus is the latest example of innovation from Sony. So I don't know. I it's not for me. So I probably won't be buying it. No.
Well, I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering when Sony's going to sell Morpheus to Amazon now that Oculus sold to Facebook, just so they can copy him.
Or when Microsoft's going to sell the Xbox brand on Amazon, right?
And the best part about all of this talk is that we're talking about a product that literally hasn't been released to the masses yet. Everybody's making a copycat. Everybody's doing something, putting their foot in the water to test the waters, and it's coming. I mean, that you're going to hear something about Amazon. You're going to hear something about these big Google making something like that, or integrating it into Google Glass and everything else.
The reveal is pretty cool. But I don't know. Would you guys wear? I mean, I wasn't sold on Rift anyway, so
Well, have you guys heard the official stance of Sony about Morpheus? I have to look this up where I read it. I think Giant Bomb said it. They were speaking to somebody at Sony, and it It's a product that people have been working on, and they're not sure if it's going to be commercially available yet. Because you have to remember, a lot of things are revealed at GDC that just never come out.
Yeah.
Here's a little nugget you guys can read about the Innovate, but about
If I may just say a little thing, the biggest.
Uh-oh, did we lose him again? Last ride, man. We lost you again, dude. And he's gone.
like this image right here. This just is not. I mean, might as well be playing Connect. I mean, that just not.
You keep putting it in my chat, Heil, not the group chat.
What's that?
You keep putting it in my chat, not the group chat. That's all right. We can cut it out. It's
like
okay.
this does not look like something I'd want to be a part of. That's just not me. I guess I'm old school, but that just does not look.
You know what? I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back through System Wars and search every comment ever made about Move. And if Heil says one positive thing, I'm gonna call him out on it.
That picture needs to be posted on SW for sure. Oh, that's classic.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting to happen.
Morpheus does look nice. I like the look of this shit. You know, I'm really into the look of.
Oh,
things.
it definitely looks high tech, but I just can't see that being comfortable. Now, I don't mind holding the two controllers, but I want to play games, sit on my couch in front of my big TV, and I don't want to be standing up and actually do work to play games.
Imagine all the photoshops I could do of you if you were holding two Move controllers.
But Rift was the same way. I mean, I put Rift on for like 5 minutes and couldn't stand the thing on me. It's just not for me personally. So,
yeah,
I don't know. What do you think, Roika? Would you use any of this Rift or this?
Well, I mean, other than the fact that the headset we tried on smelled like animal taint at
Come on.
at Comic-Con, to me, like it's definitely interesting tech. I don't think I would buy anything but an HD version of it, and I think I would need to. Let me put it to you this way: it would not be a day one purchase for me. I would need to see that my experience with gaming is seriously augmented. In some type of meaningful, immersive way for me to really be on board. I mean, so
I want to throw a thing over to KW, our resident Lemmy. Now, those would be pretty cool. Now, if they had that and you were playing, now can you imagine playing Titanfall with that, like where actually had the guns down and you're jumping into the mech and you can see everyone in front of you? You wouldn't like that either, or not?
So Microsoft is doing their own kind of VR, AR. I think Fortaleza, I think, is the code name for it.
They name things after cities.
I have absolutely no interest in anything putting goggles on or another headset or I like my big screen television. I like my surround sound, but I'm not gonna. But again, I'm from a different demographic. I've got 4 kids and a wife, and man, putting that thing on means I am completely and totally isolated and insulated from anything and everything in my home. So, and not
have
to
the wife coming over going, "What you looking at?"
Yeah, seriously. I mean, for those of you listening to the podcast, if you could see the picture that will be posted on SW with the Morpheus and the 2 Move controllers in your hand, there's no way that's ever coming in my house. I don't care who makes it.
Even before I saw it, I mean, I'm a big Sony fan, but I have moved because I bought that for $10 from my friend, and I got the sports game came with it. So a few of those games are fun, but I've only played a couple times. But I just don't like motion control games, and that's just not for me. So even though it's a Sony product and I'd like to support them, it would just sit there and collect dust, and it's probably going to be how much is it? 200?
They haven't announced it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I imagine it's gonna be expensive.
It's at least got to be a couple hundred, and
$250 to $350 easily.
And that's not including the camera that's required, and that's not including if they do have games that require the Move controllers. It's not including that either. So you're looking at almost. I mean, add that up, you're almost looking at a cost of a PS4 at that point.
You are easily.
Mm-hmm.
So it's man, I just don't see this catching on, especially as a peripheral, knowing how they sell. Historically, and especially knowing how well or not well they aren't supported from a developer standpoint. So, man, I'm shocked.
So I'm
Yeah.
gonna go a little stereotypical here, and I apologize for all our listeners out there, but they already showed with the Rift in Japan some
Ooh.
of the I don't know how I want to describe it, the sex type
Oh gosh.
anime type things that you can get with the Rift, and which should probably pick up. I mean, stuff that they've been doing over there, it would probably pick up well. So I mean, is that like an angle like Facebook, like meeting like I don't know, like meeting people instead of
Like-
like actually going out of your house? Is you can stay in your basement and I just
Like wait. Are you saying wait?
no, I can find that link. I can find the link they showed. Like it looked like the Japanese man or man was like very much enjoying himself.
I know what you're saying. We're gonna do
I'm gonna find a
gonna-
picture now.
we're gonna do a video feature at Comic-Con 2014 where Animal Mother does Comic-Con speed dating. What I could imagine it now, Oculus speed dating.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I can imagine is all of the videos of like, you know, college, you know, douchebag friends like coming in and like pigpiling their friend who's got the goggles on. You know, like remember all the videos when people were throwing their Wii controllers through the front of their television sets? Like I can totally picture, you know, the kid that's sitting on his couch playing some type of really immersive games and his friend's just busting in the door and kicking the shit out of him before he can even realize what's going on. Like there's going to be a lot of those funny little clips come out.
Well, what was that Bruce Willis movie where they are all jacked in virtually surrogates, and that that's just, man, I just can't believe that. But yeah, I guess I shouldn't be shocked.
Here's a headline from Gizmo: Oculus Rift turned into a working sex simulator. So here's what I was talking about. It was actually from a text. I was even searching for the shit, and this is what appears on my. So I don't know, with Facebook, I just don't see gaming being the focus. So
Jesus.
Sorry, Herb, but I think this is a serious blow, and I hope the games that you thought they would take advantage of it still get made and you can enjoy it. But I think with a social giant like Facebook, who's ad revenue driven and all about linking people, I think it's gonna be hard to keep that stuff out of your games.
Yeah.
I'm watching this in disbelief. This is, oh my gosh.
Oh Jesus.
It could sell millions. It could sell millions of systems. So who knows? Who knows?
Is the last writer come back in, or is he still gone?
Yeah, I think he's still here.
Sex industry is huge.
I don't know if can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we can.
I don't know what happens to what is happening to my mic, but I'm still here.
Yeah. So last ride, as we close up this topic on, you know, the Oculus Rift and Facebook and you know, Project Morpheus, I mean, give us your lasting impression. I mean, are we going to all be sitting around playing video games in 5 years with these headsets on, and that's going to be the new way to experience this hobby? Or do you think that this is a passing fad like 3D TV or, you know, even the motion controls? Like, what do you think is your silver lining here?
I think it's for the guys who are especially interested in stuff like this, but I don't know if it's for everyone. It could be for everyone.
We are having no luck with the Last Ride's mic tonight. But I think I knew what he was saying. So so then moving forward, then Heil, why don't you get us into our next topic? I think we wanted to talk a little bit about some of the games that have just come out.
Well, first we're deciding if KW2 is wearing pants.
Yeah.
I don't know.
KW,
Yeah, let's ask him. He's back.
KW,
The
are you
question we
wearing
got on the
pants?
floor is if you're wearing pants.
Oh, he's wearing pants.
That's funny.
Come on.
So
I'm
Why-
not
why
wearing
don't you
pants.
have my camera on?
Oh,
so then Heil, then, you know, take us around the block here. I mean, you know, we just got done with Oculus. You know, 2 big games just came out over the last week.
Yeah.
What do you think?
We'll go with the first one that came out, since I haven't had a chance to play it. I finally got it installed a couple nights ago. But I was on vacation and couldn't play it. So let's go to KW2. Who's probably had some hours in it. We're going to talk about Titanfall. What do you think so far?
I don't have to say too much about this game. It's awesome. I love it. I love playing it. I can jump in and out of the game when I want to. It's quick. It's everything that I want in a competitive first-person shooter as well. I mean, it's got balance. You don't feel, if you don't have a Titan, you don't feel like you can't defeat one and be competitive. You can still be competitive as a pilot or in the Titan. So it's a great game. I mean, for those of you who haven't played it, definitely go out and try it. It's easy to get into, but yet has a level of complexity and strategy that as long as you get in it and practice a while, you'll understand what I'm talking about. I mean, there's no better feeling than dropping a Titan on someone. there's no better feeling in gaming. Yeah, I know Animal is completely turned off by all of this.
I own Titanfall. I own Titanfall. You're right. You're right. When you say the level of complexion, like the thing is, like, you're right, because it has the verticality to it and hanging on walls and, you know, the stuff with the Titan. Like, I just can't think of Titanfall as a very well-made, well-polished game. I can't think of it as too much of a complex game. But it's a very tightly fine-tuned game. It's like butter. It's awesome.
Huh.
So what issues have you had with it so far, KW? Since the launch, have the servers been good and all that?
Servers have been. Let's just say this: the last competitive first-person shooter I played was BF4, and if I could unbuy it, I would. Unfortunately, I purchased it digitally, so it is light years ahead of that. There's definitely been times where the servers have gone down, and there's been some slowdown here and there. But you just never know. You never know if that's your internet connection or if that's the servers themselves. But other than that, I mean, that's few and far between from a experience standpoint. Whenever I want to get on, I can get on, and they still need to work on lobbies and things like that to be able in private games and things where because they only have the what is it, 5 modes, I think. Within the game that you can choose from. You can't do a custom map or anything like that. So, or custom games. So those are things that I think will come down the pike. But so far, I'm loving the game. I haven't got enough of it, and I play it every day.
No.
So what about did they get the chat and friend system worked out? I haven't really experienced any of that yet either.
Yeah. So with the update, the chat and friend system's pretty. It's pretty easy to get in and out of now. So all I need to do is do a quick right trigger. And I can invite friends, I can do my party and get in and out of a game as well. So it's the update that Microsoft made prior to Titanfall coming out helped to alleviate a lot of that.
So Animal, I watched you play it on Twitch the other day. I watched you play for a good 15 minutes. I mean, are you feeling the same way about the game? Did it live up to the hype?
Yeah, Titanfall is very good. It's kind of an enigma to me. It's really it's such a tight package. It's just a really tight game, and I can't say anything bad about it because it looks great, it runs great. I've only had server troubles once, and even then it only lasted about 5 to 10 minutes. And the shooting is just. It's I don't want to say rewarding, but it's gratifying. Like holding a gun and shooting, and even on the PC, it's really tight. It's really fast. It's not faster than Call of Duty, but it's not slower than Call of Duty. It's right in the middle. And having Titans fall and all that jazz is just really awesome. I have a nice 27-inch IPS monitor, and every time I get into a Titan and those 3 walls close. It's awesome. It really makes you feel like, holy shit, like I'm in a giant robot kicking some serious ass right now.
So do you play with a mouse or do you play with the controller?
I play mouse and keyboard. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
So I might have another question too for like new players like me, since the game's been out, so I don't know, 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Am I guys gonna get completely owned, KW, or is it pretty?
No, the matchmaking's pretty good. You're not going to be matched up with a bunch of Gen 2s or Gen 3s in the game when you first come on. So you will be matched up. The matchmaking is definitely on point. And if you are matched up with a Gen 2 or Gen 3, you will have Gen 2s and Gen 3s on your team, and they'll probably have a first level or second level person on the other team as well to
So for us,
kind of
Titanfall
balance it.
newbies, what is the Gen 2, Gen 3? What's that mean?
Yeah, so Gen 2, Gen 3, once you've gone through the game and for the first time through and gotten to level 50, then you will eventually reach to Generation 2, where you'll kind of start all over with everything. You'll keep all of your Titans, but you will lose all of your weapons and things like that. So you'll be starting over with just the rifle again, without any scopes or without anything like that. So, but that's what Gen 2 and Gen 3. So once you get to Gen 2, then there's another set of objectives that you'll have to hit in order to get to Gen 3. So for example, I saw people that were in Gen 8, and I think Gen 8 is where it's maxed out, I believe, or Gen 10, one of the two. But once you get to that level, then it's completely maxed for the game. You've done pretty much everything in the game itself. They'll have certain objectives where you've got to punch a pilot out of the air in your Titan 50 times in order to get to a certain level.
That's hard.
It is super difficult. But that's again, punching a pilot out of the air is probably, again, one of the most gratifying things in the game you can do.
I wanna make a promise to KW. KW, I know I said I was gonna buy an Xbox One. Unfortunately, I didn't have the. I mean, I had the funds too, but I had surgery, so I had more important things to pay for. This is a promise. This is a promise.
I hate that you have that controller.
You know what it is? I'm waiting for the official Microsoft's driver support for this, but this is a promise to you that I am a gamer and that Logic is my steed, and that I will one day own an Xbox One.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
They bought a PS4 first, and then Sony domination continuation.
So, but we're gonna have to talk about that. We can't skirt around that forever.
No, so let's get into the other big release.
What the fuck is going on? Oh,
well, let's get into the other big game of the release week here, Infamous Second Son. Now, Heil, I'm going to direct this to you. What's your impressions of Second Son? I mean, did it live up to the expectations?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I only got to play that for like a couple hours too. So I know you got a lot further than me, Roka, but I thought it looks awesome. I mean, the effects of the character, I think, are awesome. How his clothes and like especially his jacket flow, just little things like that bring him like so realistic. And then people were knocking the lighting, and I thought the lighting was awesome. I remember going into a parking ramp, and I was on a rail, and the sun was in my background. Not only my shadow real time, not pre-baked. My real time shadow was on the side of me, but it was also down the stairs on the wall in front of me, real time, not pre-baked. And I don't see how shadows can get better than that. And I'm talking about you. What the hell is his name? I forgot his name. The other Lem. Who do we have on here?
Sean.
Not Sean.
Foxbat.
Oh, Foxbat.
He was saying that it's absolutely stunning. That it's fluid. I haven't come across any slowdowns. I don't know what frames per second it runs, but it's absolutely gorgeous game.
The game looks gorgeous, though.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, listen to the last ride. It's like a whole new world. Like, it's finally in the podcast.
Yeah, I was kicking over him. He hasn't said much of his podcast. So, have you played it the last ride?
No, I haven't gotten around to it, but it's definitely on my list on getting.
Do you have a PS4 now? Do you own one?
Yeah, I got it at launch here in Europe. So
you don't have a fucking. You don't have Infamous? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just in my backlog. I have such a big backlog.
Don't be embarrassed to just say it's an average game. It's okay.
You know what, KW, I'll actually speak to that, because if there's anyone here that's going to naysay a Sony exclusive, it's going to be me.
It's going to be you after you praised it to me.
Well, that's what I'm going to say. I was going to say that I'm actually really pleasantly surprised by the gameplay in Infamous Second Son, and I would not say that if I did. Like, I'll be the first to tell you that like the gameplay in like Uncharted to me is like lackluster. I know Hyle's probably sharpening his blade with me saying that, but sharpening his many katana blades. But you know, like I really think that what the Sucker Punch's greatest achievement in this game, as much as the game looks beautiful, and as much as it is, they really did set up some really fun encounters and environments, and Seattle looks beautiful and all the other stuff. They really their crowning achievement in this installment of that franchise is that it's the most fluid Infamous game to play. It is the most fun Infamous game to play. I know Animal and I were differing a little bit the other day, where he thought that Infamous 2 was still a little bit more fun, but I think we both commonly agree that the fluidity of gameplay and what's kind of at your fingertips at all times is very, very satisfying.
Yeah, climbing the Space Needle was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
it's a tight game.
They really did well by what the PS4 presents, and it's definitely one of those games that, you know, they use the thumb pad kind of interestingly. It doesn't add any type of extra layer of immersion, but it is kind of neat to swipe your finger across the touchpad to do a lot of things, turning the controller to the side and shaking it and hearing it rattle, you know, like a spray paint can.
I'm a fucking idiot. For the first 4 times I spray painted, literally you have to hold the, because you know they have the I guess the gyroscope or whatever. You have to shake. I know.
You're pretty good at that, Animal.
Yeah,
he's a pro.
You have to shake the PS4 controller like this until the bar fills up, and then it says spray paint. I was holding down the right trigger, spray painting like the PS4 controller was a fucking can, like a fucking fool. And I was like, this is so fucking stupid. I was holding it like a goddamn can. And I said to myself, I said, no, it's easier to hold it this way and just go up. I was going,
Well, no, Animal, and I'm not gonna pretend to be Mr. Know-It-All, because I definitely fucked it up too. I'm moving the thumbsticks, going, how come that circle? You know, and occasionally it would slide a little bit, and I'm like, maybe what am I doing wrong? But yeah, you're supposed to just aim the move light bar at it, so you only turn it to the side for a second, shake it real quick, and then shake it all over the place.
And one thing I've missed is the traveling system. They added, I don't know, later on in the game you guys could probably answer. It won't be a spoiler, but in Infamous 2, you could ride the rails with a power where you just basically were a conduit of the railways. The same with the power lines, so you could basically like skateboard on power lines, and you could take the rail. You have smoke powers this time, so
that was his power, electricity. So
yeah,
you could grind on the rail.
I kind of missed that way of traveling. He can do double dashes and get quite far.
Yep. Heil, in only a couple. I mean, I guess I don't know what I'm giving away here, but I'll be delicate when I do this. Blab, cover your ears. You know, I mean, there's going to be a point in the near future where you can unlock unlimited neon. So you can, in my game anyways, I unlocked unlimited neon. So when I press circle and get into neon, I literally could do it around the whole city infinitely. It's almost like a get out of jail free card. I know you and I were talking the other day about how the opening of the game is actually quite difficult. Like there's some pretty difficult scenes and scenarios they put you in where you're basically, you know, popping fire and then trying to flee before you get completely teabagged by everybody. But you know, it's one of those games that as you build up your powers, you start to feel overpowered. I wouldn't say overpowered. I think they did a good job balancing, but you definitely have so many different things at your disposal that there's a lot of variety and there's a lot of opportunity to clear scenarios differently, but you never feel cheated, I guess. And a little bit maybe in those first couple hours where you feel like you just don't have, you know, the energy or whatever to get through it. But after you really break into some of those powers and start leveling up, I mean, my God, the game is so fun to play.
Particle effects, man. Those particle effects.
Agreed. It's a really, and I've been a little bit of a naysayer of the Infamous franchise, and but I will say that Infamous Second Son is they really did well by their fans in that game. I think that it's a good launching point to next gen Infamous. Before we get off of this topic, what do you think of? And I guess I'll aim this at either Animal or Heil, because I don't think The Last Ride and KW have played it yet. But narrative wise, Delsin wise, do you like him as a character?
I do.
I see you guys.
Ooh, I lost Heil for a second. Oh, Heil got lost.
Okay, I'm still here.
Yeah, Heil?
I got dropped for a little bit. It came back.
Okay.
Heil, you go first.
I thought he was a fine character, but then again, it takes a lot for me to hate a video game character because I really don't think about it too much. Like people complain about Devil May Cry, Dante, and that just, and I thought he was fine. I thought he was actually pretty cool. So, this guy is I don't see. I mean, he has some like Hiroki and I were talking about. He has some cheesy one-liners, but what video game character doesn't?
Right.
I mean, I don't think he's like Emu or I don't know.
Emu? Like
Emu.
Like emu? Like the
So you
animal?
call him here in the Midwest.
The other thing too is that I think, you know, in the context of video game narrative, which we've gone over with several guests before about, you know, we're not, you know, without getting into a long diatribe about video game narrative, you know, the game at its core is a superhero game. I mean, you're talking about a game that has traditionally been told narrative-wise through, you know, basically what have turned out to be comic strip storytelling. And I think there's part of me that would be disappointed in that world if they went ultra realistic with Delsin. I think that the fact that he's kind of almost like a little bit of a more hip Scooby-Doo character in a way is, and he is. I mean, he kind of is. He's a little bit more of a. He's like a Hanna-Barbera superhero in a way, and my irritations, and these are very small, but like. He got his powers 5 minutes ago, and he's claiming like political injustice, you know, political correctness with "please don't call us bioterrorists. We're called conduits." Like he all of a sudden has this deep-seated, you know, affinity for other conduits, and you know the way that they're perceived in the world, having only had the powers for 30 seconds. So it's there's definitely some cheese drizzled all over that story, but shit, man, I'll take a cheesy story all day of the week if the game is that fun to play, and it is that fun to play.
You guys know me. I'm willing to attest for a lot of video game stories.
Yeah,
I ham it up. While I think Infamous Second Son is a really fine-tuned game and really great, I don't like the fact that they grounded it more in reality, calling them bioterrorists and what have you. I liked the comic book nature where it was like, you know, it was batshit crazy, and you know, Cole was kind of an asshole because of all the shit that had happened to him, and the cover your ears, Blabadon, you little bitch. Spoiler, if you haven't played Infamous, it's 4 years old now, get over it. You know, Cole travels back in time to teach himself to be a superhero, and that made the first game really cool, that there was this really heavy comic book element, and it was really drizzled all throughout the game. Oh, sorry.
No, I just say the bottom line to me is I love open world games. It takes a lot.
Yeah, it's a great game. I like the game.
Open world games. It might not be jumping in cars and shooting guns, but the city is beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. I really enjoy the game.
Quit your bitching, animal.
Oh my god, I just love that really thick layer of comic book, like really. Well, I can't say bright colors because he has fucking neon. But like,
that's as bright as it gets.
I know, right?
What else? What other games are we gonna talk about? So we talked about Titanfall and
Dark Souls. Well, I want to. Sorry, I'm gonna Ringo it. I wanna get Matt on the podcast again and talk about Dark Souls 2. It's a very good game.
Well, go ahead. I mean, Dark Souls 2 was a huge release. So I mean, did KW? Did you get Dark Souls 2? Do you play the Dark Souls games?
I have not played a Dark Souls game ever. So that, yeah, I know it's a gaming faux pas on my part for sure. But no, I've been wrapped up either in Titanfall or I've been playing Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare.
Nice. And Last Ride, do you play the Souls games?
No, I have Demon Souls on from PS Plus, but I haven't touched it yet, unfortunately.
Yeah, I will say, and I want to hear what Animal's take is on Dark Souls 2, especially in how it compares to Dark Souls 1, but especially in a lot of the mechanics, the gameplay mechanics. But I'm kind of with you guys, and Heil, I know you and I have chatted about this. I'm not sure. I know Willie's on our call right now. I don't know if he plays the Souls games, but actually he does. I saw him online the other day playing Dark Souls. But Yes, I am a stalker, Willie. But you know, I have always been the type that's like, I'm never gonna play the Souls games. Why would I want to play a game that's gonna
You
get me frustrated?
crumbled. You
I
crumbled
did.
in a day.
I did one. It took one day to play Dark Souls to realize the genius in these games. And in all honesty, I am fucking hooked. In fact, I played Infamous Second Son all day. Now we're talking about a legit next gen game, like beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I got to a point when I was playing it where I'm like, I need to shut this shit off and go upstairs and play more Dark Souls because it's that good. I mean, every encounter is that exciting, and every little bit of ground that you make up in these games. Like I get it now. I get why the formula is so popular.
Or boss battles you die to when I'm trying to fucking help you.
Well, come on, dude. Animal drags me to the top of a building. Listen, playing co-op on Dark Souls with Animal is like he's like this tank that runs in front of you and goes, "Just follow me, just follow me." and you get to the boss fight, and I'm sitting there fucking spamming arrows at these huge mega griffin things, and Animal's rolling around, and he's slashing at everything, and he's like, "Just stay in the corner, just stay in the corner." And then these griffins, they come over in the corner and start hacking away.
I said stay back, and I didn't say stay in the corner. I said stay back.
I did stay back, and they
in the corner. You never stay in a corner.
You know what his answer is? I yell out to him, "Animal, just tell me what to do. What am I supposed to do? What is the tactic here?" He's just like, "Nothing. Just shut up. Just stay out."
Well, that's not satisfying. You're not really playing it then. I mean, if he's
well, no, I mean,
here's a lesson in frustration.
Here's the thing, though, Heil, is that it is a lesson in frustration if you're an impatient person. But if you're patient, if you grasp onto that really razor sharp gameplay and understand like the progression of it and the saving of the souls and spending them in the right way and slowly kind of building up a character, while also simultaneously discovering new little areas throughout the journey, you do really quickly grasp onto why that game got a 9.5 and why it's so beloved amongst core gamers. So I'll say it to you three. I mean, if you get a chance to play, if I know they always sell it on Steam for $4.99 now. The what's the name of the edition on
Prepare to Die edition.
Prepare to Die edition for $4.99. It's $5. You will absolutely get $5 worth out of the gameplay, even if you play it for one day and say, okay, I think I'm done. I guarantee you'll like the game.
Yeah, the Souls franchise has been really. How do I say this? Dark Souls came out, believe it or not, when did Dark Souls come out? 2000 and
Demon Souls or Dark Souls?
No, Demon Souls.
Demon Souls was it the game of
09?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was 21 when I got Dark Souls. 5 years had passed. It started out. I heard about Demon Souls and how it was going to be this cult game and how it was going to be really hard and roguelike. And I bought it, and the thing is, you grow as a gamer every day, especially with games like the Dark Souls or Rogue Legacy or any type of roguelike game. And I didn't get Demon Souls at first, and I never did. I didn't get Dark Souls until I went back and played it a year later, the Prepare to Die edition, when I played through the game and I got every hook, I got every ladder, I defeated almost every boss. And then once I learned all the stuff I needed to learn from the Prepare to Die edition, Dark Souls 2 just latched its hooks into me. You just know every single facet of the game. Though they did change some things up, parrying.
What did they change for those people that maybe have played Dark Souls but haven't bought Dark Souls 2? Like, I mean, is there?
Some of the combat's different. You have a poise now, so that affects the rate which you take items or use Estus flasks. I think that's your. Excuse me.
Ew, God.
Oh my God. I think that's your poise. So that determines how fast you drink your Estus flasks, how fast the Estus flasks heal. And the thing is, in Dark Souls, when you run out of stamina, you're kind of just stuck for like a frame or two.
Yeah.
Like when you're attacking, and finally you've run out and you kind of come back a little bit slowly. Now you have like 3 or 4 frames where your character, if you block and you run out of stamina, they wait there for a second, and you're opened up to the enemies just to go boom, boom, boom. there's a shield break now, so you can keep kind of like almost shield bashing enemies.
Yeah.
So you can break them and kind of get like a big attack on them. The bonfires are different. The Estus flasks are different. You get the Estus flask at the beginning of the game. The cool way they do it now is you find Estus flask shards, so you no longer have to kindle a specific item in order on one bonfire in order to build up 10, 15, 20 Estus flasks, because everything's centralized to one bonfire in Majula, which is really nice. Fast travel is right off the bat. You can burn human effigies. You can burn to not get invaded as much. Souls, you can reallocate those. And of course all the Dark Souls stuff is back. Going to specific merchants for certain items and using certain boss souls in order to forge specific weapons. And it's a really tight game. I'm about 3/4 of the way through, about 24 hours in now, in 2 weeks. And the thing I never did with the Souls games was I never played them socially. Like, you know how you're probably undead most of the time in Dark Souls?
Yeah.
I use my effigies for boss fights all the time. And the cool thing is you can bring 2 people in on a boss fight now. So it kind of levels the playing field with these fucking really tough as shit bosses. And the game is just really tight package. It's really awesome. And for those people, I think it runs a lot better than Dark Souls, which is saying a lot, because have you gotten to Blighttown yet?
I went down. That's the one where the
frame rate drops to 10 frames a second.
Yeah.
It runs a lot smoother. There aren't many hiccups. I agree the graphics were downgraded, but a developer wouldn't go through all that time to show a game to trick people about graphics or downgrade the game, Maybe at the expense of hardware, they had to tune down the game a bit in order to say, listen, we could have this run like Dark Souls where it runs a variable 15 to 30 frames a second, or we can have it run 25 to 30 frames a second constantly,
Yeah, and I don't. It's not even a game that you really even care about the graphics. I mean,
it's all about the gameplay.
Yeah, it really is. And Animal, just to close this up on Dark Souls, you had sent me over, a link to a mod that really tightens the graphics up, makes the textures look gorgeous, and I was starting to get just a few. I mean, I don't have the most graphic intensive, PC, but it started to slow down just a little bit, and I went in almost immediately and erased all contents of the mod, because I would so much rather have the reaction time to a particular
that's
fight.
How Dark Souls is.
Exactly. It's like everything else goes out the window. You just want to be like sure that you're not going to get your ball bag handed to you by some fucker around a corner.
No,
so,
that'll happen. Like another 1,000 times.
Yeah. So moving forward, let's you guys want to close this up with kind of what we're playing now, or do you want to jump into another topic? I know we wanted to talk real quick.
One more topic.
You have a topic?
I have a topic.
All right.
What the fuck is and KW is going to love me for this. I see him smiling. I see him smiling. What the fuck is going on at SWWS, Sony Worldwide Studios? What is going on with all those developers?
Yeah, you mean the fact that we lost, and our last ride had brought this up.
Six people have left.
Yeah, we lost.
I mean, aside from layoffs, I know KW, but we've lost 6 people. Somebody has put it into perspective on Reddit, but I also, KW, I put shit into Logic that he can't stand. And I'm holding. This is the number 6. Don't do drugs, kids. What's going on? What does everybody think? Heil, what do you think's going on? Heil? He's probably
rubbing one out. Last ride. You brought this up to me earlier too. What do you think? I mean, you had mentioned we lost Amy Hennig, we lost
Jack Trenton, and a bunch of Seth Killian, who worked there for what, 2 years?
Yep.
I didn't know who he was.
He was working on Drive Club, wasn't he?
Oh, the Drive Club guy.
No, that wasn't Seth Killian. People have started posting this on System Wars. Let me pull it up.
Yeah, I saw it on System Wars and on some articles online.
So what do you think, Last Ride? Is Sony a shitty place to work, like me and KW think it is?
Nah, I don't know. We just have to wait to see it because uh, I mean they could just be reworking stuff because they are having trouble, you know, because the company is doing so hot. So
Yeah.
maybe that's why.
KW, what about you, my man?
I mean, so they're definitely restructuring, but and the way that this all first started out was, hey, Sony's having financial trouble. Okay, no big deal. You know, every trouble, every company goes through this. Every company goes through some kind of turmoil every now and then. Then it was like, then I said, okay, well, it's gonna affect game development. Everybody said, no, that's Sony's beloved sacred cow. That's never gonna happen. Blah 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 blah. Now we're seeing that game development is being hampered by the overall financial problems of Sony. You're seeing game developers leaving. You're seeing big time people, and I'll tell you the big three for me. One is Jack Tretton leaving without, and granted his contract was up, but man, mission is not accomplished over at Sony. They are on an upswing, that's for sure,
Yeah.
but they definitely have a much larger hill to climb with a lot more steps here. Number two for me leaving was Amy Henning. Her being a super talented person and proven what she can do. Yeah, there might have been someone else that came in for Uncharted, but man, why kick her out the door? Why not let her take on another project or do something different? It's not like they don't need more games on the PlayStation 4. Number 3 is now the game director for Uncharted 4. Now he's gone too. So now we've got 3 big players that aren't just nobodies. They aren't just people that have been there a year or 6 months. I don't really care about those folks, the year and 6 months people. I get that. You know, but those are the 3 big ones, with Jack Tretton really being the biggest one. And I just feel like they couldn't come to an agreement on this guy's contract, and we'll see
Probably
what comes back here in probably about 20 or 30 days, when all of the financial information for Sony gets reported to the street, really where they're at. And that's when we're really going to get a much bigger picture. But to say that there's not something behind all of this, I think it's kind of naive. I've been laid off at companies. I've been at big companies, but I haven't seen this much turmoil since in a long time.
So 343 is in dire straits because they 3 people left them, and the person
four people in 6 months.
4 people in 6 months, and the
I won't disagree with 343. I think there's something to that too. These are mainstays. Why are people leaving companies like 343, like Sony, like Santa Monica, like all of these are, and like Naughty Dog? I mean, these are big time developers that are on the cusp of making big time games, and they can't keep people.
I think there's also could be a pressure cooker situation or creative differences too.
Mark Whitten did also quit. He's been at Microsoft for 14 years, so it's not only Naughty Dog and Sony. So.
Yeah,
I won't disagree with the Mark Whitten leaving either. I think he left for a better job, to be quite honest. But
it might have been because he wanted the Xbox job.
It just seems like there's a lot of people leaving everywhere.
You're cornered now, KW. You are cornered now. You son of a bitch.
Well, I mean, the other thing too, and not to jump in on you guys, but you know, there's a lot to be said too for the timing in consideration to where the generation is. The generation has, for all intents and purposes, just launched. I mean, these could be decisions that these people have had rattling around in the back of their head for several years and saying, you know, we just want to get through, you know, maybe this generation, maybe these people have had aspirations of extending their careers elsewhere for several years, and it's just coincidental that it's happening now after the new generation has officially started, and these people are saying, okay, it's time for me to bow out.
And we saw some of this as well with the 360 and the PS3.
Jay Allard.
launch. Jay Allard, you had Peter Moore, you had Ken Kutaragi get out of Sony. So I mean, everybody, this could be correct. This could be just, hey, it's the shuffling. It's a new generation. It's always this how it always happens. Just get used to it. It just all seems kind of off kilter to me from a Sony.
I want to say something that your league brother said to you. Sean said to me, "Well, Sony's such in financial dire straits, and let's not paint a picture. Listen, we all know that they're having trouble." He goes, "Well, Microsoft acquired a VR dev team or whatever for 150 million, right?" I have to fact check that, but. What did Sony purchase last year? Can anyone tell me Sony purchased something? It's coming out. It's called PS Now. What did it start as?
Gaikai.
And how much did they buy it for?
I don't know. How much did they pay
They
for
bought
that?
it for $340 million. So for him to say, "Oh, Microsoft's buying shit," and they bought the Gears of War franchise, but Sony's canceling games and shit, right? All right, there are 2 canceled games. Well, there are 2. First off, we don't know how many games were canceled.
Yeah, that
We know 1 that was canceled, and 2 that have really been pushed back. The Last Guardian, which I think is vaporware at this point, and Drive Club. God knows what's going on there. And again, like I'll tell you,
we had 2 projects, one in Europe where Sony guys were laid off, and Santa Monica where this.
That we know of.
That we know.
Yeah.
But then he's telling me Sony games are being canceled left and right and whatnot. I have a question. Was Black Tusk Studios for Microsoft, owned by Microsoft, were they working on their own original IP announced at E3? Please, remind me.
I don't know.
They were, because there was a Black Tusk game announced at E3.
Yeah.
And Microsoft canceled it for Black Tusk to work on Gears of War. So don't tell me Sony is canceling shit left and right when Microsoft is doing the same power plays. Microsoft may be buying companies, but Sony's buying companies as well. You have to look at both sides of the coin, and that's why I get on these.
As long as Naughty Dogs.
You're not on the. You're not
isn't closing, then I'm okay. I think people are changing. I mean, the founders of BioWare, Greg and what was it? Whose name?
Greg and Ray.
Yeah.
Greg and Ray both left. The founders of BioWare. Now we just think that
BioWare
Dragon Age 2 and Mass Effect 4 are just going to suck because the 2 founders, the people that created the company. So yes, I mean it is weird. I will say that, or I don't know, not weird is probably not a good word. It is
coincidence.
A bad.
I'm not saying
it could. Well, I can see where it looks bad. How about that?
Yeah.
But I don't. As long as the doors remain open and I just posted the jobs that Naughty Dogs are looking at, it's a huge list. I don't know. I think there's gonna be players there that hopefully continue to make quality games. That's what I care about. I don't care about the personnel. If they can, I don't know.
Yeah, but can you lure talent in the face of going broke as a company?
Well, no, you can lure talent in the face of
Naughty Dog
the talent's resumes. Look at Naughty
Dog's not going broke.
So how is the relationship? What is the relationship then with Sony and Naughty Dog? Are they not owned by Sony?
Subsidiary.
They're a dedicated third party, right?
No, they're a subsidiary.
They are.
Yes.
I don't remember ever reading
I don't think that.
No, they are.
Somebody fact check Animal, quick.
Hold on, I'm fact checking this. Look, here's the Wikipedia.
Well, in either case, I mean, Naughty Dog is only making games for Sony platforms, and we know that.
Yeah, Naughty Dog. This is on Naughty Dog's website. Naughty Dog became a wholly owned subsidiary by Sony Computer Entertainment.
As long as we get Uncharted 4 and the next.
You're going to get Uncharted 4. That's a guarantee. But the question will be is, will you get Uncharted 4 first, or will you get The Last of Us HD edition and the God of War HD edition prior to getting all of those games? I don't know. Who knows?
Same with 343, brother. What are you gonna get first, Halo Anniversary or Halo?
I am not a fan. I am not a fan of all of these HD remixes for my brand new $500 system that sits with games underneath my TV. I want new IP. So I'm looking forward to Sunset Overdrive. I'm looking forward to what's the other one that's coming out this year?
Quantum
Quantum Break. I'm looking forward to those 2 games
What
because
the-
they're new
what-
IPs.
What worries me just a little. I mean, I know those games are gonna come out, but they haven't given any type of
I
time frame
understand
for
that.
these. Hopefully it's at
Hopefully E3 clears up some
E3.
of that cloud. Yeah, but that's not really my point. My point is I don't want to see these HD remix
Yeah, I
games,
see what you're saying.
especially ones that have just come out within a year of everyone playing them. It's a cash grab and it's annoying to me.
It's a cash grab. I think it's also trying to fill a gap for people that didn't play those games to get them at full price on the next gen console systems.
But you just you just brought up Dark Souls to me. I haven't played Dark Souls. Where can I buy it? I can buy it on Steam for $4.99 or $5.99.
What are we saying? I don't know what you're saying.
But what I'm saying is I don't want old games that I can get somewhere else. Like the HD, like the improved 1080p 60 frames per second, that's not an enticing selling point for me to go out and get that game.
Exactly. You're 100%
When you have
right.
GameFly, though, it's great, because I just played Tomb Raider on the One, actually, because the PS4 version was, of course, all out because there's so many more PS4s in the wild. But they sent me the ones, and I had fun playing it. I already beat it on computer. I own it on computer.
It was a good HD port. It was really
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, but would we rather want stuff like Tomb Raider Definitive Edition or HD versions?
Well, I don't
want new
either.
IP.
I want new IPs, but those will
All right,
come.
cancel Mass Effect 4. We don't want it.
I mean, you know what? Hey, you know what? Hey,
it.
guess what though? The best part about Mass Effect 4 and the reason why I'm still excited for another Mass Effect is because
Garrus is going to be in it.
no, because Garrus is not going to be in it. I'm going to have a new person to, worship from the Mass Effect universe. But no, seriously, I mean,
get on your knees,
I think that the way that Mass Effect 4 seemingly is from what all of that's been leaked out or what's been admitted by developers, the developers has been the most positive thing about it is the fact that they're telling a brand new story in that beautiful universe that is rich with stories to be told. So I'm with KW on that.
The big universe.
Yeah, and I'm with KW in the sense that as much as remakes can be fun, I've heard that BioWare is considering doing Knights of the Old Republic remastered. I'll be all over that. I mean that game is 2 generations old, and it's easily my top 5 favorite video games of all time, if not my favorite video game of all time. So for me, a game like that being remastered makes sense to me. I play it on PC every once in a while, but I'd love to see that come back to console. But I didn't go out and buy Tomb Raider. I was going to, and then I kind of as it got closer and it was $60, I said, you know what, I'm just not going to do it. And I feel the same way, to be perfectly honest with you, about The Last of Us. I've been playing through The Last of Us over the past couple of weeks, and it's an absolute stunning game. I don't necessarily need to play it just for a little bit of a better graphics, resolution or frame rates. The game is already stunning enough as it is. I'd rather somebody sink resources into giving me something new.
All right, I have to own KW one more time. KW, do you have your butthurt cream?
What do you have to say, Animal? What do you have to say?
Hold on.
Spit it out, Animal.
So E3's in about 2 months, right?
Yep. Can't wait.
All right. I know you like to talk about waiting a lot and delays. You like to talk about Drive Club being delayed and tell PlayStation owners just to wait for it. You know what I found out, because I like to thoroughly research? Sony has 2 games coming out: The Show for PS4 and PS3 and Vita, and Final Fantasy: A Realm Reborn, also available on PS3 and PC platforms. Now, granted, these games are not exclusive.
Yep.
There is only 1 game coming out for the Xbox One between now and E3. Kinect Sports Rivals. Now listen, you're a family man.
Which I will buy.
You will buy. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not dissing the game because, listen, it could be a fun, it's a great way to interact with your kids and whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm sorry, you cannot tell PlayStation owners to just wait for it, because we have 1 more game coming out, and then a bunch of Vita exclusives coming out, and then, multiplats are also coming out on the PS4. So PlayStation owners, PlayStation owners really don't have to wait for anything, KW.
So I'm gonna drop something on you here. I'm hoping I am.
Uh-oh.
This
Uh-oh.
is what we
Uh-oh.
call in the sales world hopium. It's a drug that no one should ever be on for sure. But I am hoping that Microsoft does launch some indies and some more arcade games in the same vein as Max: The Curse of the Brotherhood, which was out of the blue launched
was.
Isn't Below coming to
back-
Xbox?
Yeah, you got. So I'm hoping we'll see some of those games show up on the Indian / arcade realm here in the next 4 or 5 months, I would say, but at least prior to E3. So they can do it. They can drop out a couple of indie games. They've been working on these with at ID Xbox and all of those things. So yeah, you're talking about waiting, but I've been playing. And I've had a great time with the games.
Wait. I've been playing Resogun, Warframe.
You stop the Resogun and Sound Shapes. You can seriously.
I've been playing Sound Shapes. So don't tell me I haven't been playing shit, because I just got Infamous last week. I got Infamous Second Son.
Retail exclusive.
And I am happy to hear that Infamous is a much better game when I first played it on the PS3, because I thought Infamous was a snore fest when I first started playing it. So I'm glad to hear that. When I buy my PS4, by the way, which I will, audience, I will have a PS4 eventually. And
I can't wait to see that.
it up. I picked up a PS3 last generation. It's not like hey, I am a Microsoft honk. There's no doubt about that. I'll be the first to admit it, and I'm a lemming for sure at heart. But I'll pick up. Of course, I'm gonna pick. I'm a game.
I'm waiting for that white. I'm holding out for that white Xbox One, because I do have an Xbox One in the house. I'm just holding out for that white one. I want that one so badly.
I'm only a lemming because Microsoft makes better exclusives than Sony. So Last Ride, what are you waiting to get an Xbox One, or?
I mean, we have to wait until September until we get that one here. So I don't want to risk importing it and perhaps it getting broke, because I have to send it back the States or UK or something.
Right.
And it's also expensive. It's like I think it's around $1,000 getting it here. So
yeah, and you were saying the PS4 was a similar situation for you too, right? Around $1,000.
Yeah, I think I misspoke. It's around 800 or something.
800. Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so guys, we're up over about an hour and a half now on this podcast, so it's probably time that we shut it down. But I guess we could, Hyle, what do you think? You want to close it up with one last, maybe one sentence question?
Shit, I can't think of one.
What games are you playing now?
I can do that.
All right, that'd be good.
I'll go first.
What game are you playing?
I'm playing Second Son. I'm playing Dark Souls, and I'm playing The Last of Us. I'm playing 3 games.
I'll meet you in Dark Souls. Just make sure to bring your tampons next time.
Yeah, actually, can we go fight the biggest fucking guy in the game and you not tell me anything about how to beat him? That'd be great.
That's the easiest boss in the game. Kyle, what are you playing, my man?
I'll be playing Titanfall starting, and then Infamous Second Son.
Anything else? Or that?
Hopefully I'll get Thief through GameFly here. I sent back, I beat Tomb Raider Definite Edition on the Xbox One last week, so hopefully I'll be getting Thief. I know it didn't score that well, but I figure it's worth the rental.
It's okay. You made a smart decision. Last Ride, what are you playing?
I'm playing GTA 5. Like I said last time, and I actually got Final Fantasy 10.
What was that? I couldn't hear.
Final Fantasy 10.
Oh,
nice.
Okay. It's my favorite PS2 game, so I just had to get it.
Yeah, nice.
Great. And my favorite lemming that I'd love to get on his case. KW, what are you playing, my man?
Of course, I'm playing Titanfall, and I'm playing also Plants vs. Zombies. And
How is that game?
Plants vs. Zombies, it's a great break from Titanfall because it's not serious. It's got some really, really cool animation to it. The characters are very endearing. But on the same token, I mean, it's got a little bit of strategy to it, and it's got co-op here in the house. So me and the boys get on together, me and my sons, and play together. So
that's online only, right?
That's the co-op is actually the co-op is here in the house. So it's local co-op. And I think the Xbox version, from what I've heard, is the only one that's going to have that. And
Oh,
that
wow.
was one of the big draws for me, was so I could have that local co-op here
Sony
and
sucks.
play it.
Is the game against, is the regular game against other players online then? Is that all it is?
No, so you've got a kind of a horde mode
Uh-huh.
online, and then you've got the horde mode local
Okay.
co-op, and then you can also play against other players, team versus team, up to 20 versus 24. So it's pretty intense at times.
Mm.
Cool.
That sounds great. I am playing Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls, which got Carol. I'm gonna create a new, I guess, word. It got petited.
Carolyn,
They improved. Diablo 3 was kind of really rough to start. Reaper of Souls improved every aspect of Diablo 3. They made the drops better. They made they just made everything better. They added the adventure mode, which is a fun mode. The Act 5 campaign was good. I beat it last night, and she gave it an 8, same as Diablo 3. How do you make that many advances in a game and manage to score the same? Like, it was like nothing happened.
I've never played Diablo 3. I know that it's much maligned. It seems like it's been kind of like the PC exclusive whipping boy since it's been released.
Because it deserved it. It wasn't good. It was really hard to begin, and Reaper of Souls just fixed everything. Like everything. The Loot 2.0 system, the auction house is gone. The new Crusader is awesome, and there is not a bad thing in that review, and it just got an 8.
The new DLC for BioShock Infinite scored a 8 from Van Ord. So
Well, yeah, it came up from a 6.
episode 2?
Well, episode 1 was a 6.
Six.
Yeah. Episode 2 just came out. Must
It was
have.
an 8. I have to download that and play that tonight.
The Abyss. Burial at Sea.
Burial at Sea, episode 2. I am playing Final Fantasy X Last Ride. I feel you. More power to you. It's an awesome game. Last Ride, did you get PS3 or Vita?
I got the PS3, but I'm getting a Vita as well.
Nice move. I got a Vita. I feel you. I'm a Vita owner. I'm playing FFX on it.
Oh.
I'm playing Dark Souls 2 and Titanfall,
Nice.
which I've discussed to death.
Willie, quickly type what you're playing. Willie,
Yeah.
hurry.
Willie, what are you playing?
Or say it. Here he goes. Wait, I'll be Willie. Video games. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. So, and Heil, what did you say? What you were playing? Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Yep. I'm gonna start
Titanfall.
Titanfall tonight, I think, or at least play a couple matches.
Nice. So yeah, so we want to take a quick moment and say thank you to all of our guests. I'm going to start by saying thank you to Willie, who has been streaming Pedal to the Metal for us on Twitch, and actually informed me that I can just basically take the archive of our Pedal to the Metals each week and release them as episodes. So who knows? Maybe that'll lead to something even bigger if it releases Heil and I from a little bit of extra work prepping Pedal to the Metal. Maybe we can do broadcasting laziness. Yes. Thank you, Willie.
We need a host. If anybody has a free host out there that we can use for our stream so we can have our cast on iTunes
again. Yeah, we lost our RSS feed.
The website went.
We'd appreciate it. I don't know if I don't know. We'll talk about that later, I guess.
The
web insertion will be back up.
It's coming back. The web guy Willie's done a lot of work on it, and I can say nothing but good things about what Willie and Eureka and Heil have been doing. Hashtag save the site. Willie did a lot of work on the site. We have another guy who lightly works on the site. He's been sick, so Willie.
All right, it's all good.
Yeah. So we want to say thanks to The Last Ride, who, by the way, one of my favorite things about this podcast tonight is that The Last Ride went from unrecognizable speaking to totally like clearest mic out of any one of us. Yes, you got the KW thumbs up. You're getting the Aroga thumbs up. So The Last Ride all the way from Norway. Thank you, dude, for being up with us tonight.
No problemo.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it. Want to say thanks to KW for withstanding another shock and awe campaign from Animal Mother.
Dude, yeah,
Okay.
I love Animal Mother. He's fantastic
passion.
on the podcast. He loves video games. There's no one better to talk to about gaming.
Thank you.
Yeah. He's gonna shut his mic off now and curse your name, but
only on System Wars does
Yeah.
he do that.
yeah.
Because you seem so mean on System Wars. When you type, you seem so mean. But when I talk to you and I see you smiling, it makes me smile.
You gotta bring the passion, man. You gotta bring the passion on the board.
The passion, that's like I'm gonna fucking stick a knife in your pillow while you're sleeping, like Tone. Shit.
He goes for the throat. So yeah, so I'm going to say thank you to Animal as always for being on with us and being an awesome co-host.
Thank you.
And I'm going to kick everything over to the hashtag legendary Sony PlayStation 4 loving. Aw yeah, strap your mama and yeah. I don't know all the Hylas.
We're getting ready to launch this motherfucker, aren't we? Woo!
Yeah, 5-point harness into space, bitch. So I'm gonna kick it over to Heil68 and say thank you.
Yeah, thank our guests for joining us. Great to have both a person from overseas. That's awesome that you. What time is it there anyway? Like 3 a.m?
Yeah, it's almost 3.
Damn.
He's not
Hope
working.
you don't have a day job because I would be total shit if I stayed up till 3 o'clock.
I took a nap, so.
That's good. And thank KW again. I'm glad you enjoyed the first time you were on and came back. We love you're an awesome guest, and we need some people to stick up for the lemmings, and you're a good spokesperson. So
Nobody listens to me, so we need.
Yeah, that's because you claim you're a lemming, but you bought a PS4 first.
we'll start playing at the E3. We definitely want you aboard the E3 cast. If you could, if we can swing it. Last year was a lot of fun because we did it. I guess it wasn't live, but it was right after the cast. It was a lot of fun. So we'll be playing that here soon.
Absolutely, I've only been to one E3 in my entire lifetime, but yeah, I'd love to be on that podcast for sure.
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining. So I guess for Heroic Animals, this is Heil68. Later.
See ya.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.